Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the crazy crew member here with me, Sandy Reevy. I just made that one up on the fly. I didn't even write that one down.
Because my hair.
Yes, I can see your hair on the Zoom video. And here it is episode 113, September 21st, from different locations here on the podcast. So I wanted to get right into it in the transits. We have Monday, September 21st, Mercury square Pluto.
Are you lost?
Tuesday, September 22nd, fall equinox.
Sun into Libra. Happy birthday, Libras.
Wednesday, September 23rd, Mercury square Saturn.
Are you sure?
Thursday, September 24th, Mercury opposed Mars.
Keep calm, your tongue and your head.
And Sunday, September 27th, Mercury ingress Scorpio.
No dignity.
Then Talisman times that Sandy has finished up, to take an important role in the family business, to retire in perfect standing, to step into the circle and claim victory, and two special upcoming, to move about freely in the world and to invite others into the practice. Then on the horizon, we have all of our online offerings for you all, as well as we're going to be discussing in our house our new private events. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
And the search ends here, where the night is totally clear, and your heart is fierce, and so you finally know you control where you go.
Hello, crazy crew member.
Because you couldn't think of anything to rhyme with hair?
No, I was like, what's a C word for hair? Colic? The crazy colic lady.
In fact, I was just on the golf cart going from my mom's house through the woods to my brother's house, and I had my hair down, and I'm whizzing by, and my sister-in-law's like, "Oh my gosh, who's on the golf cart coming over here? Who is that? Is that Lindsay from college?"
Oh my
And I'm
gosh.
like, "Oh, the 21-year-old? Yay."
Yeah.
And I get closer and she's like, Seriously, I don't know who is that on the golf cart?" And I get closer and they go, "Sandy?" So yeah, maybe it's my golf cart hairdo you're seeing.
Well, it's funny because there have been times when you have gotten your hair done, and I always see it curly and up and pulled back,
Mhm.
and there's only a handful of times that I've seen it, like, down. There was one, I count
That was
one
bad.
time that it was down and straight, and you were in the restaurant, and I was meeting up with you after your hair do
Mhm.
or your haircut, and I was looking around the restaurant looking for my mom. I could not find you. And then I look at you, I'm like, "She was at the bar this whole time? My goodness." So,
Yeah, my hair straight. I don't even look like myself, especially when I'm doing the bow. What is that bow coming out of the water? Like when I get my hair wet,
yeah,
and I come out of the water, it's like Sandy with flat hair, dark hair, pasted to her head. Doesn't even
right.
look like me.
And
My Leo goes away, and I don't like it at all.
I think you also had I think it was like, did you have wet hair remember when we did that whole series of all of the
Oh,
astrological signs and planets
for the
for
Neptune.
Pisces? Oh, it was Neptune.
It
That's what
was
it was.
Neptune.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was in the bathtub,
Yeah.
for Neptune, and I
Yeah.
had a spoon slash salad tosser that
Yes,
looked
as
like
your
the
the little
trident, the trident.
That was so perfect.
Oh my gosh, and then I ducked myself underneath the water and I came up and it was like I was somebody else.
I
Yeah.
can't even believe that was the beginning of quarantine. That
Yeah,
was
that's what
so
we did for
crazy.
fun, thinking, okay,
We
we
gotta
only have
entertain ourselves for a
we
month.
have, we have 12 signs. We have, 7, although we did all 11 planets. We
Mhm.
thought that would be done. Be like, "Oh no, we got to keep going," but we stopped. It was like there's other things to do.
Right. Always
But they're
is.
still up. They're still up,
Mhm.
right, on the IGTV? Is that where we
IGTV, correct,
Yeah,
and as well as Facebook videos.
got it.
So if you all haven't seen those, they are so entertaining. It's our creative, kooky crew member way of, putting this together and making astrology, like,
Action-packed,
action-packed. There you go. That's perfect.
along with, prop-packed.
Yes.
Like, every prop that I had in the house that blended towards, say, Taurus or Leo or the
Mhm.
Scorpio. How hilarious was that one?
That was a
That was
good one.
probably the scariest one of all.
Right.
Um, but it all flowed. We had such fun doing all those. Anyway, they are worth seeing, and you can learn stuff.
Oh,
That was the
absolutely.
whole purpose we did this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and what I'll do is maybe in our house, I'll throw a link in there, link to those, Facebook videos for you all, and so moving on, let's move to our going direct section, and here, first, I just wanna shout out to you all you listeners, we really love you, thank you so much for the emails, the feedback, the messages about even my grandma, Sandy's mom,
Yeah.
and we really appreciate that. So, I got a long feedback from a one of our first private astrology events that we
Mhm.
booked, and I'll also we're going to talk more about this in our house later on, but let's get right into it. So, Sarah says, "Thank you so very much for creating a sensational celestial evening for us. From the moment I passed around the charts, I could feel the excitement from our group. Then, as soon as the reading started, we could feel the warmth from Sandy via Zoom." Which
Woo,
is that's good, even from
woo,
Zoom.
woo, yeah.
Sandy, you made the whole group, including the astrology newbies, feel comfortable with exploring the world of astrology. Each reading was insightful, optimistic, and revealing. We learned so much about ourselves and each other. It was a great way to bring us closer and to open up dialogue to better understand one another as friends. The topics raised continued on bike rides through Michigan, around the campfire, and the grand finale, listening to the podcast on the way home from Chicago. Thank you for facilitating an evening of discovery, a truly new experience for each of us. It was fun to put this together with you, and I would recommend it to any group of friends as something fun and new to do right now.
Ding, 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 and so we are.
That was such great feedback.
Yes,
So
that
thanks,
is.
Sarah. Shout
Thanks,
out to
Sarah,
you
and
and
your
everyone
group,
that we
yeah.
met. You all were so much fun. It was a great group, and we're going to talk more about these private astrology events in our house. So stay tuned until the end of the episode there. Moving on into the transits, let's get to this. So Monday, September 21st, Mercury square Pluto. Are you lost?
Well, are you? Right? You might feel like you are because Pluto is at 22 degrees of Capricorn and it's been here since mid-August. Now, and what I mean by it's stuck, it feels like it's stuck because Pluto is such a slow moving planet that when it's preparing to turn in the opposite direction, of which it's been retrograde for the last 5 months, and Pluto is now getting ready to station to go forward, that it literally goes so slow that it stops. So it turns direct October 4th. So we got that on the horizon as
Hmm.
then all of the three planets of the Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto that I've been calling the kerfuffle, which
Hmm.
is really the COVID, um, turns direct October 4th. So we're just a couple weeks away from all of these planets starting to break up. They're losing their cement hold and they're starting to move forward, and they're not broken up yet, but they're at least starting to, move their joints,
Move
so to
on to different
speak. Yeah,
places. Yeah.
but not yet. But this placement with this Mercury, Mercury being in Libra is square to the Capricorn Pluto, is, yeah, you may feel lost. It's like, you need to um to recalibrate your thinking. So it's just an adjustment period here. So if you feel like you're lost, stay I mean, not that you have to love it, but you have to be aware of it, that it's okay to feel like, which way am I going?
Right.
So if you recognize that, like I've never been here before, or how do I manipulate this, or how do I handle this? Just hang in there because it will kind of recalibrate itself. It reminds me when I was trying to put together the Fire Stick, and just went round and round and round and round
Oh,
on the
yeah.
television,
Your
right?
Amazon Fire Stick, yep.
And I'm like, is it going to connect? Where the hell are we? Is it doing anything? It's going round and round. And, the youngins, you and my nephew who are helping me, they're like, no, it needs to do what it needs to do. It needs to go find the Wi-Fi. And it's kind of that. It just needs a recalibration. It's like you don't have to do anything,
Mm.
right? You just have to like kind of kind of ponder, like just stay put.
And to stay within it, because sometimes,
Yeah.
those really wonderful things can come through even when we do feel lost. And, so the next transit, Tuesday, September 22nd, is the fall equinox, and Sun is moving into Libra.
And that's at 8:31 in the morning. That's Central
Happy
Time.
birthday, Libras!
Yeah, and we get the equinox. We get two equinoxes every year. We get the spring and then the fall. And this just says that the sun is at the halfway point. So of course, we've been noticing it's getting darker earlier, and we might be sad about that, but we know that a season is ending and this begins the next season. And can 2020 go get move on any quicker?
Right.
Um, the answer is yes, but no, it's all in divine timing. So this is half day, half night.
Mm, yes. And Wednesday, September 23rd, also my brother's birthday. Happy birthday, Andrew. Mercury squares Saturn. Are you sure?
Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Huh? Are you? You
So
know,
what David, are you sure?
yeah, I named it that. This happens at 5:38 a.m. So we're pretty much just waking up to this. That someone may be resisting you. There's a pushback. Is something not going smoothly? Probably not. Don't be pessimistic. Don't be depressed. Don't be pissed off. Don't be angry because this is supposed to happen. This is not your fault. So
Mm,
don't get into that. I should have done it, shoulda, woulda, coulda, done it a different way. This is just the day. And, yeah, it's my son, it's Andrew's birthday. It's like, oh my gosh. So his solar return will have this throughout his year.
mhm,
So not what I would choose. He's probably not going to listen to this podcast. So this is just kind of a shadow period as well, because Mercury, this planet that I'm talking about, goes into a shadow today as well. And so we know any planet that is getting ready to retrograde. Now, Mercury is not retrograding till mid-October, October 14th to be exact.
okay.
But here on the September 23rd, on Wednesday, it starts moving in its shadow, which means you've heard us talk about that before. It goes into the
The
area,
territory
the,
that it
the
will
degree territory that it will come back to. So it could be that this resistance that you're feeling up against the Saturn, up against the limiter, up against the brick wall, may kind of remain there all the way till November 6th.
mhm,
So again, I write not your fault, but don't let your reaction to this be your fault.
mm.
There's just some things that you just have to um, deal with.
And that actually reminds me, so there's a little for my birthday this past year, I got gifted a famous quotes little message thing, and every day you get to see a different one.
Mhm.
And the one that just came up was, "It doesn't matter what happens to you. What matters is what you are doing before it, during it, and after it."
Mm,
So what I like about that, it gives us a step back from kind of the situation or the consequence or the the happenings, and it brings us back into the power of I have I have control over what I can be focusing on.
Mhm.
So I do like that. And I know that even in these times of, not having a lot of clarity or not being really sure about the path or what's going on, um, it's hard not to freak a little bit during those
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Um, but knowing that, like, even if you are just being s sensitive and solid with yourself, that's still a wonderful action,
Mhm.
even in the
Well,
unclear times.
into this is this fall period where any planet that is in a cardinal sign is in an aspect and a difficult, hard aspect to those 3 planets that I call the kerfuffle that are in the other cardinal sign of Capricorn. Now, we here's Mercury in Libra. So there's the square. We also have Mars there. Mars is in Aries.
Mhm.
So that's another square. So there's a lot of squares, or I should say planets in Capricorn that are squaring the difficult Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, which is why the astrologers have been discussing or kind of analyzing or predicting that this period is not so easy.
Right. A lot of grinding gears.
Yeah, it's not easy, but yet we can see with deep breath and patience that this breakup, this kind of like you said, the like grinding is it's kind of maybe starting some new paths over the next 3, 4, 5 months.
Mm,
Yeah.
brilliant.
So, and this is the first of 3 hits. Mercury will go retrograde. It retrogrades on, like I said, October 14th,
Mhm.
which it becomes that second square to Saturn, and then Saturn moves direct on November 1st, and then by
Saturn or Mercury?
oh, excuse me, Mercury.
Right,
Mercury
okay.
stations direct on November 1st, and then by November 3rd, it hits it for the last time. So it comes out of its shadow um, November 20th.
Mm,
So again, this is part of the election,
and a doubtful time.
a part of the election period, because if you followed us on Planets and Politics, the little what is it, $20
Webinar.
webinar that
Mhm.
Susan Goodell and I did, we talk about the results possibly not coming until this November 20th period,
Right.
which is like, well, we're all voting by November 3rd. What do you mean we're not going to have the results right away? And just the further we get and the closer we get toward to this, it does is everybody's now predicting we may not get the result. Um, so yeah.
That'll be interesting. So Thursday, September 24th, we have Mercury opposed Mars. And this you named Keep Calm Your Tongue and Your Head.
Right? So this is Mercury. There it is again in a cardinal sign, which is Libra, opposing the Aries Mars in retrograde. Now, this is only going to happen one time because Mars retrogrades back so far that Mercury can't even retrograde and come forward and hit. So that's thank goodness, I should say. This happens at 5:53 in the morning. And this is just rash action, right? This it includes your mouth, right? Mercury is about your voice, the things you think, and what you speak. And so that's why I said, calm your tongue and calm your hot headedness, because this
Mhm.
is impulsive behaviors. And just watch reacting, because your immediate reaction may not be the solution to what it is you need to, unless you got to catch a baby falling, right?
Right.
Unless you have to do something that kind of is instinctual. But if it's something that is caused, and remember, we just talked about the day before that Wednesday, that Mercury squaring Saturn, that the next day here we've got the Mercury opposing Mars. So it's just kind of like this crunch time
Mhm.
to recognize that, that pause 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? That pause before you react to something that was said to you, that was done to you. Um, you know, this watch accidents. I wrote down I wanted to call this time, walk like a ninja. And I got this vision of walking like a ninja at this point, like kind of being aware of, like pacha, all the,
Yeah.
kind of like Robin and Batman, like bam, crash, pow, right?
Mhm.
Yet, yet I have this vision of that, but I also have this vision of keep calm. It's like Batman or the ninja, going through a retreat center, through Bali or something and trying to go into that spiritual center of, yes, I'm prepared for what comes toward me, but I will react softer, more peaceful, and in a new behavior.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah,
like that.
this is a tough day, although I did not call this the conflict day of the month.
And Sunday, September 27th, Mercury ingress Scorpio. No dignity, no
There's
doubt.
no yeah, Mercury has no special placement in either, domicile, rulership, exaltation, triplicity, decan, face. It doesn't have any dignity here, but it's a good time for pondering. It's a good time for research, and not to worry. Don't worry. You know, d- you know, don't make up stories that you hold on to because that could trap door that story. It's kind of like, when you talk about a trap, like you're having some like work done in some of the pipes, which
Mhm.
there's a trap. Like there's a trap door that the water can't flow backwards. So kind of be careful on what you're thinking about. It's a good time for research, but get the true facts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, dig deep.
And not to worry about what you think something could be. Get the facts.
Okay. Yeah, so whatever your hypothesis is about this, research that you're doing, keep ignoring that until the facts start coming in. Interesting.
Mhm, mhm.
So talisman times that you have finished up, you have 3, 2 on the same day, which was Wednesday, September 16th. The first, to take an important role in the family business.
Hmm.
And I liked talking about this one because I said, in the family business, if you haven't been in a family business, you kind of don't know. But if you have, you know.
And of course, I'm here in Cincinnati with my whole family, and my dad started his own company, you know, 70 years ago, and then my brother
Mhm.
bought it, and he's built it quite successfully, continued success, and now his two sons, our nephews or cousins, are taking the business over, over these next 5-10 years, and just watching that is pretty interesting. And of course, we've got our own family business here,
Right.
but my connection with my family or my partner's family and their interests allows me to offer my ideas and suggestions in a way that adds value and is beneficial for all.
Yes.
And this
Yes.
is a really beautiful time because I did this at 7:41 in the morning on Wednesday, September 16th, and I posted this on Instagram when I made it. Is the two benefics, Venus and Jupiter, are enclosing Mercury, and to have the two benefics enclosed, meaning coming at different angles through aspects, one was a sextile and one was a square, really holds that whatever planet it's enclosing, and this one is Mercury, kind of elevated. And the sun is in Virgo, ruled by Mercury. The moon is in Virgo, ruled by Mercury, and the ascendant is Virgo, ruled by Mercury. So this is just a really beautiful kind of enclosed planet that is the ruler of the sun, the moon, and the ascendant. Yeah, this is amazing.
Cool. And that same day, you also made another talisman to retire in perfect standing.
Now, I have never done one around this.
Right, I like it.
And the reason being because we had the balsamic moon. It was a pretty tight balsamic moon, meaning the ending of something, the putting to rest. So I received this gift as a token of my long held reputation. I feel honored, delighted, and optimistic about walking away. This is the sun and moon both in Virgo, yet it is, like I said, the balsamic moon, and the ascendant is Sagittarius, and the moon is in trine to Jupiter, which is stationing direct. So
Mhm.
this is kind of coming into a new placement, yet saying goodbye to an old.
Right, and I like
So
the pride that you have along with it. It just feels like your chest is up, retirement is a huge lifestyle change, but, whoever
deserved.
this is. Right, deserved, definitely. But yeah, I like the pride. I like the that imagery that you're kinda giving with those words. And
Mhm.
then Friday, September 18th, you made your final talisman time, which was to step into the circle and claim victory.
Oh my gosh, this was at 5:04 in the morning, and I could not be late for this because I had a start time of about 2 minutes, because this was a late degree, ascendant rising in Leo, um, and literally to step into the circle and claim victory. I realize this reward is worth the challenge. Therefore, I take on the situation, use all I got, and I know I am in it to win it.
Mhm.
And this literally has the second decan of Leo, and which brings victories over one that is willing to confront the this situation or the challenge, right?
Yes.
It's likened to Hercules and the 12 labors,
Mhm.
where Hercules was given all these impossible labors.
Feats, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and never thought that, and then succeeded and was given the second, succeeded third, and all the way to 12. So it's that having this decan with the can bring financial benefits. So it's just about stepping into the circle and claiming victory.
Yes.
I guess just like they did during the medieval times, right?
Mhm. Absolutely. And so the upcoming talismans that you have 2 of them, Tuesday, September 22nd, to move about freely in the world. Is this like traveling? What are we doing here?
Well, it does have Sagittarius flavor. The sun here is in Libra, so right, the sun just moved into Libra. The moon is in Sagittarius and the rising is Sagittarius. And so this has the moon coming up over the horizon, and the ruler of Sagittarius, which is Jupiter, is moved forward. So he is coming out of the dark hole of retrograde period. So my vision is clear and my needs are met. I explore new horizons where all of this occurs. I am loving my life. So
Mhm.
there's this theme of this moon in a trine to Venus, and the sun is squaring, um, applying square to Jupiter, which is the ruler of the chart. So this just feels about taking,
Limitless.
yeah, it's like taking a deep breath and expanding your lungs um,
Yes.
to the fullest amount.
I really like that. And Thursday, September 24th, to invite others into the practice.
Hmm. I
I like
ser-
this a lot.
I seriously consider the effects of my friends, associates, and coworkers bring to my table. I choose those that are willing to take this vision to manifestation. We are equals. And I really like this one because the moon is applying to a conjunct aspect to Jupiter. The ascendant is Pisces, which is the ruler of Jupiter. And we know I just mentioned that Jupiter's direct now. And so I really like this. This is the first quarter moon. So the moon is is waxing. So it's just about, and it's interesting to invite others into the practice. So I'm not specific about that, but
Right.
it's some sort of practice, whether it's a business practice or it's a planned thing that we would practice to do something. And, one would consider who that they're asking into this group.
And I think that's so important. Because when you have, especially even like a smaller group or one that has a very strong and serious vision, you need people who are attuning to that strong and serious vision along with you. And so when you are assessing the people around that table, they need to be, you know, worthy of that position.
And we have to think about, I know I've done many readings, I've been getting a lot, especially over the last, 6, 7, 8 months.
Mhm.
Um, and people are thinking about their friendships. They're thinking about the people that they associate with. They're, job situations. And that's kind of that says, I'm inviting those people that I want to play with. I'm inviting people to my table that I want to talk with, I want to socialize with, I want to work with.
Mhm.
I get to choose
So true.
because as we move into 2021, we're going to be having a different social attitude, and some of our peeps may have fallen to the wayside for one reason or another. And I just feel like we get to choose more freely.
Mhm. Right. And more intentionally, because yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely need to pick our friends. So moving on to the horizon, uh, of course, we have all of the links here for all of these events. I did throw in a link for the CWS webinar, the Mars retrograde in Aries again, as well as the planets and politics. That's in there too, because those are two very strong themes that are going on right now. And if you want more information and, you know, a little bit of advice on where to focus during these times, those two are perfect. Then September 23rd, we have our community check in, and that's happening this Wednesday. We would love to have you there. It is completely free, it is completely agenda free. And basically, all we do is we check in and we talk. Sometimes I give some question prompts just to get the chatterboxes going. But yeah, it's a really wonderful time.
We started this months ago at the beginning of probably March
Right.
or
Because we wanted to
April.
keep in
Yeah.
contact with our community.
And Alex was such a great idea that we've been doing it every month. And I
Mhm.
love it. I'm going to probably take my call outside in my mom's garden.
It'll be perfect. Then October 3rd, we have our October astrology forecast. This is happening on Facebook Live, and it is again a free event. This is amazing information from Sandy and Susan. They are going to be giving you dates, the reasons why they're picking these dates, their favorite ones, their least favorite ones, which ones are going to be challenging, and which ones are just going to be wonderful and exciting. So then October 14th, we have our CWS webinar, the blue moon, and this is going to be the only blue moon on Halloween that's happening. And so it's going to be a really interesting one.
Wear your masks.
Right.
What
The
does yours look like?
Halloween mask, not the masks that
Hey,
we're used to. We're
it,
going to be on
it, it,
Zoom.
it's a mask. Yeah. It's the only time that you want to wear a mask.
Right. So moving on in our house. So I wanted to recap our latest private event. So I wanted I wanted to get your feedback. What did you really like about it? And also introduce this to all of our listeners. So Sandy and I have been really brainstorming, especially during this, virtual uh, worlds that we're stepping into these days, a new way to bring astrology knowledge and friends together.
Mhm.
So, this is a really amazing time where you can virtually get a group of your friends together, and Sandy is there to help host and facilitate a individual private readings, group readings, talisman ceremony, There's so many different options that you can do within these events. However, I do have the link if you want to learn a little bit more about it in the description under our house. So let's hear, Sandy Mom, your thoughts on that private event.
You know, and this is what I loved about, because you and I being Pisces, it's kind of like when Sarah and the upcoming people that, we've got a couple scheduled on the schedule. And sometimes it's like, hey, do you want it in person? Do you want it virtual?
Mhm.
We will drive 50 miles radius from Chicago, like from Evanston,
Right,
for small groups. But the virtual ones are so easy. And sometimes that all the people that are, this happened to be a weekend girls trip,
right.
that it was about 5 or 6 girls that had gotten together, and they had rented their Airbnb in Michigan, and they were all ready, and they were trying to, they can't go to the bars or go dancing or going to concerts anymore. So we did this one night, and, they say how many hours they wanted to do. If they wanted to do a talisman ceremony, they did not this time. But we handed out their natal charts in advance to the one girl that had organized it. So we got all that information to her. She printed it and handed all the papers out. We had, a little packet of stuff was personal. The natal chart was personal. And then we got on this video, our Zoom call, and they all got there. They all had their glasses of wine and with their
Mhm.
notebooks. And as I went through every girl, because of course I had them here I shared my screen and showed each one of them their chart, showing them. Of course, we recorded it. Um, and just meet, I don't know them, obviously,
Right.
and talking about their sun signs, went around to all their sun signs, and it would be like, "Oh my gosh, I totally see that in you." And "You do? I don't know if that's, oh gosh, yes." And their friends were saying, "Yeah, just the other day, remember how you wanted to do a dance at the
Right.
wine bar?"
Right.
Like it was and of course, you and I are over here just like chuckling. Um, but they
Well,
each got to
and
see.
because I think that and we cater these events, we can cater them
Yeah,
to, like,
we can
very
build. Yeah.
right. However, this was a group that was very, very new to astrology that really didn't understand what a sun sign is versus their sign. So we wanted to expand their knowledge on the sun, the moon, the ascendant, and get them a little bit more involved in the complexity of what astrology is and what an astrology chart can show. And it was pretty mind-boggling too, because just to see everyone's reaction of how these 3 come together to create this dynamic personality, it's so much easier to understand than just looking at your horoscope in the newspaper, right?
Oh, so different. Because that's just your sun sign, and
Mhm.
everybody has a sun sign, one of 12, right? But and then I gave him a quick little um, we all went around the circle, and they each got to ask a burning question, or something that
See
I was just going to throw out at them,
right, like
a
upcoming
mystery.
transits.
Yeah, a
Mhm.
mystery transit. Um, And so that was interesting, and I think really we were on this call for 1 hour,
Right,
and they got so much information, and they said that they talked about it the whole weekend
right, they did.
and laughed and listened to it again and now follow us on the podcast. Hi, girls.
Hello, it was so much fun, and so through that event, and since we've been facilitating events like these in person for so long, it was really wonderful to be able to see it work and be received so well through Zoom as
Mhm,
well.
mhm,
So, what I did was I put together this web page, so if anyone is interested in learning more about how to put on this, you know, party or event or just get together with your girlfriends or with your
mhm.
friends or family, it is a really wonderful way to reconnect with friends, especially now that it is getting it's harder. It's harder to be there with our friends. So everyone can join in all virtually, or it can be where all of the friends are there together in the same room. But of course, if you have any questions, you can email me, alex@intentionbeads.com. I've also included our Facebook videos and the IGTV links here in the Our House section for all of 12 zodiac signs and the planets.
I'm raising my hand. Can you see me?
Yes, I'm calling on you in the front.
I have an add-on to what we talked about last week in our house,
Oh, okay.
which was I like you, you like me, that Martha Beck and Elizabeth Gilbert taught us, right?
Yes.
And you and how we've been using this for the last 2 years and finding really incredible reactions to it. So incredible that
Night and day. It's
that
incredible.
that literally they're stories. These are incredible stories. Well, and we did that whole time. You know, I'm here in Cincinnati with my mom, who is recovering from some back injury, and so my add-on to that is she had finally a hard to get appointment for what we all thought was going to be an epidural,
Mhm.
a steroid injection in the spine. She's had multiples of them in her life, and they really work. And so she was just every day, one more day, 2 more days, 3 more days until this shot. So we get in there to the office, and they take her back, and I said, "Can I go?" And they're like, "Oh, we're sorry. You know, we're trying to keep it low amount of people back there because of the COVID." So I'm waiting out in the hallway, and about 10 minutes later, they come and get me. And I'm like, "Is everything okay? Like what?" She goes, "Oh, no, we just thought your mom would want you back here." And I said, "Has she had her shot yet?" And they're like, "No, shot. No, this is a consultation. No, she's not having a
Mm.
shot today." I'm like, "Ooh, uh, we had the expectation that we're walking out with the epidural steroid
Uh-oh.
stuck in her spine." Um, "You're kidding." She goes, "No, let me check my records." And she's like, "No." And I walk in mom's room and I said, "Mom, just for your information, this is a consultation. You are not getting a shot today." And mom goes, "Oh my God, you're kidding me." So the nurse is like, "I'm sorry." So I'm behind my mask again. I like you, you like me. I like you, you like me. I like you, you like me. 30 seconds later, another nurse practitioner walks in and she goes, "Well, guess what? You're going to get the
Wow.
shot today."
Wow. That is incredible.
She goes, "Not only does the doctor have an opening right now, we don't need a referral or approval from your insurance company,
Wow.
nor are you on any aspirin or blood thinners that we have to take you off of prior to an injection. So if you're ready for it, let's go. We'll go get your epidural right now." My mom and I look at each other and go, "Swear to God.
I love you, you love me.
I love you. You love me." It worked
Oh,
again.
good.
So anyway, just wanted
Oh,
to share that
that's
story because, so many different reminders that try it. Just you guys try it. You don't have to say it out loud. Just say it in your mind, and
mhm,
your eyes will soften, your face, your tension, whatever you're up against, particularly this next coming week, where this
mhm.
next coming week is a doozy. In fact, I called it something and I closed my notes already. I should see what I titled this.
And this would be a great exercise too, if anyone wants to check in with us. If you try this, this "I like you, you like me" exercise and, something happens, let us know.
I
We'd love
called
to
this
share.
Yeah, I called this week last chance to make it through.
Mhm.
When I remember when you asked me to, or somebody asked us to write for a men's magazine, I'm writing for a men's magazine, the astrology of the month.
Yeah,
And I likened something similar to this about getting through the eye of the needle. Like there's a small little pass.
right.
And this is what the week I was talking about. Like the last chance to make it through the pass.
Hmm.
So be focused and concentrated and not getting stuck in the, you know, other stuff that's going on because that is distracting you.
Mhm.
And it's a lot going to be going on. A lot will be going on.
Yes.
So I like you, you like me. You can sing song it.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So
All right.
I love these stories. Let's keep them coming. So thank you all for listening for another episode of Astrological Intentions. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much for your feedback, your 5-star reviews on iTunes. And until next week, we will see you soon. Thank you again for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The search ends here.